today we're going to talk about how I record and process my electric guitar. By the way, there's all my stuff, all my links. You can check the description box below as well for just all the information. I don't like to waste time with that. Okay, step one, I like to use my neck pickup. I swear, these are all my default starting points. For me, I like the neck pickup so much because it's the most balanced for the volume that I'm playing at in this room, in this house. As in, yeah, when I'm playing with a loud band, I may click over to bridge position pickup so that I cut better. But usually I'm keeping it pretty chill, just because that's what I encourage my students to do, to keep it pretty chill when they're practicing and working on things, and so I try to be a good role model. Now, yeah, the next thing down the chain as we work through my default setting, I always have the Strymon Deco on my board. Those of you who follow my channel, you know that about me. It really is, to my ear, the best overdrive pedal. It's digital. And by the way, I always test my overdrive by hitting double stops like in the middle strings. That's a pro tip. Watch, let's hear that without the Deco. With the Deco. And for me, the classic edge of breakup tone, Brian May said it so eloquently, I think in his rig rundown. He says, you're looking for that sound where you can still hear the individual notes of chords, but there's a little bit more bite and a little bit more sustain to the lead notes. So I always look for that, where the tone is not getting just so squashed and so compressed and so just that yeah, I can still hear the chords. Now, I do have my Maleco Echo analog delay in the mix today as well. Very quietly, very low in the mix. I love that pedal because when you kick it on, again, here it is off. Now, it's going to come in and give me a little bit more delay, but it's also going to give me, like, it does something. It does something to the signal that's cool. They don't make them anymore. But they're good if you can find one. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that on while we talk about the rest of this stuff. Now, next down the line, I think you can see my attenuator, my Weber Mini Mass. Yeah, that thing is cranked on this Silvertone right now. Yes, attenuators do take away some of your sparkle. They absolutely do. However, I don't know if they all do this. I've mentioned this in other videos. The Weber Mini Mass takes away operational hum, which again, if you're shooting in a small space or playing in your living room or your bedroom or whatever, in your studio, it's very nice to have a device that will take away the mains hum. Watch, let's hear what happens when I bypass it. So guitar volume off. Hear that? Cuts it right out. Cuts it right out. So useful. Definitely pro tip. You know, I've gotten pretty good, I'd like to think, at this point, at shooting nice sounding guitar videos in maybe not the most professional situations. And yeah, that is useful. What, it's like $200 now? It's the cost of a pedal. Now, next down the line, can we see it in any of the shots? Can't tell if I rotate this way. Ribbon mics. I swear by recording your guitar with a ribbon mic. The analogy I like to use is that it's kind of like when you went from solid state to your first tube amp, you're like, ooh, that's a whole different level. Ribbon mics they just hear the guitar more like your ear does. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just a little bit more natural, greasier, for lack of a better word, and the mids growlier. Just, I just like them. By the way, I should mention, I'm not playing loud in this room. My amp with the attenuator, you can see it's maxed out right now, is about the same level as my speaking voice. That's, you know, that's for my needs for doing the things that I do, with telling people to play slow and play chill. So I don't play loud either. Plus, you don't want to damage your ears like I have. Did I mention everything? Oh, mic placement. You know, I tend to keep my mic 2 to 3 inches away. Not super close. There is something called the proximity effect, where if your mic gets within, well, I shouldn't cup this microphone. When your guitar mic is within, I think, 2 inches, you start to get the bass frequencies get hyped. And so I try to, again, just try and keep it natural. Try and get it so like it sounds in the room is what you hear on whatever speakers you're on, which that's a whole nother thing. I run straight from that ribbon mic. There's no preamps, no nothing, into my Rode Procaster. Yes, I am sponsored by Rode. They're really nice to me. They've been good to me my whole YouTube life, so thank you, Rode. So I'm using the Rode Procaster to capture all the sound you're hearing, the new one. It has some built-in preamps in it there. I think I have it pretty well gained up, but that's an active ribbon mic, the Rode NTR, so it has plenty of gain on tap also. And leveling your mic, just so you know, getting the gain stage right, you tend to try and keep your microphone between -12 and -6 dB. That'll give you plenty of headroom. It's a little bit weird. We're used to, you know, for those of us who grew up recording on 4-tracks or to tape, you're used to kind of hitting things hard to get the sound to be, you know, kind of gritty and cool. But the modern era, digital has all the headroom in the world, so you don't need to hit it that hard, but you don't want it to be like really, really quiet and you can't hear it very well. So there's a sweet spot. I try and keep it between -12 and -6. I try to mix my videos around -6, maybe -3. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. Sometimes people complain about it. I'm trying. You know, we just do our best. Now here's this is actually the part of the video that I really want to do. Once it's recorded, what I do, what's the secrets of Eric's tone. There's nothing that special. Ribbon Mics and Reverb. Here we go. Once I got that wave file, I dump it into GarageBand. I'm gonna upgrade to Logic. I just got a new computer. It literally arrived 10 minutes ago. Install Logic on that and learn how to use that. I've been using GarageBand for like 20 years. Sounds pretty good. Look at my videos. They sound okay. I actually line the wave files up manually. I visually kind of look at them and blow them up and kind of get them to line back up with the backing track I made. Then I listen. I look, then I listen, then I look, then I listen. So it's eyes and ears. I'm sure there's a fancy app that does it. It would be more confusing for me to learn how to use some sort of fancy app than to just do it the way that I know how to do workflow stuff. So the first thing I do once I got that guitar file in there is I check the EQ. I never really do too much EQing because, again, I just try and be really natural and honest about what's going on. And plus, the more you try and change a sound, the weirder it gets. The more artifacts you get, the like weird things will come in. So I use the reductive method, which means I go through that guitar signal and I look for ugly lumps. Now in this room, there's going to be some ugly lumps, some bass, some low mid nodes, probably in the 300 to 500 range. So I'm actually going to, what you do is you draw a curve that makes that really big so that you can really hear it. And you're like, oh, there's the ugly part. And then you flip it. You bring that down a bit. So yeah, I could actually, I'm filming this before I've EQ'd this, I kind of know what the EQ curve is going to look like in this room. That like I'm going to take a lot of the bass out because you don't need it in guitar. And then probably some of those low mids are going to come out. I may add a little bit of highs depending on how good I got my placement, and this amp's actually quite dark. And this Silvertone, by the way, doesn't do the thing that 1484s are supposed to do. It doesn't. Everybody thinks this amp is the holy grail of amps. For some reason, mine is the cleanest 1484 that there ever was. I don't know. I don't know. I've spent hundreds of dollars trying to make it the awesome 1484. I'm like, I don't know why. It's the cleanest 1484. It doesn't break up. Okay, anyway, that's just a side detour about that 1484. It's so weird. So that's what I do with my EQ. Now, here we go. Here we go. The big secret. Reverb. Reverb. This $50 plugin. Valhalla Vintage Verb. That's like made my career, basically. I don't use reverb pedals, and there's no reverb on in the room. But I swear, by using that plugin, this very simple plugin, and just maybe, my default setting is 20% mix, 2-second delay. Here, let's listen. That's it. Watch, let's play that same passage without reverb. Oh, let's put a 5 chord in there. That's the thing. Here, one more little lead thing. No reverb. Let's bring the reverb back in. That's it, man. I swear, by using a plugin, it pushes the guitar more to the corners, more to the edges of your ears than doing it before. You know, 'cause, yeah, I've had tanks, pedals, and things like that. And I can remember my buddy Brian Heron using Valhalla on something we were working on. And I remember the skin looks so friendly and easy to use. Just a couple of big knobs are the ones you need to tweak. And I was like, well, that does sound good. And I started doing that. And like, yeah, I mean, that's like when people compliment me on my tone. I put it in every video. I tell people, Valhalla Vintage Verb, ribbon mics. That's like my sound. I operate, what's that? I don't operate from a place of scarcity. I'll give all the secrets away. I'm gonna leave that. All right, that was a weird turn. And sometimes, if I'm playing something very strummy, I'm going to turn the delay off. So delay's off now. If I'm doing something very strummy, I'm going to knock that reverb down a bit more, down to like 15 and 1 second delay, and maybe use like a room. Now let's hear that again without the reverb. Let's hear it without the reverb and without the Deco. Secrets. Trickery. Now, the only other thing that I'll throw in some other effects from time to time. The other one you'll hear me do that some people like, some people don't like, is Sound Toys Tremolator. To get that guitar to go back and forth. Fun. You'll notice Sound Toys Tremolator also tends to like smooth out the highs a little bit, as well as make things go ping pong, ears left to right, which that can be useful too if I accidentally did something really spiky. Here, let's put treble pickup and all that with the Sound Toys. Cool. forgot to put the bar in today. But there you have it. Ribbon Mics and Reverb. You know, just trying to keep things as simple as possible. As always, that's how I try and play. That's how I try and live. I hope that's interesting and helpful for you. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do, even if it's just clicking like and subscribe. It keeps me in business with the algorithm relevancy, which is just the way the world works now. That's just how it is. Patreon, that's huge. People booking lessons, that's huge. That's how I live. That's how I eat. I don't run ads on these videos. I think they're annoying, so I make my living by people choosing to invest in me, and you do, and I appreciate it. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.